welcome back to our course. In the previous video we have understand how we can dynamically um, see the data here, right, by filtration of our, like, from date to date and calendar month and everything, right? But today, like in the last video I have told, like, today we'll discuss about the search category page. But before that I want to discuss one thing, that is the pagination thing. Okay, so pagination is basically what, like, before starting pagination we'll do some handling here. uh, we will what we will do here now, because whenever we switch the tabs, we should load the data, right? So, like, based on the different pages. So suppose if we are on the dashboard page, then we have to trigger our transaction provider dot get filter dashboard break. For transactions we will have a transaction provider dot get transactions break. We have category provider dot get categories break, right? And this we don't have anything, we don't have to call anything here, right? So whenever now if I'll switch any tab, it will reload the data for me. Okay, so it will, because we have to reset these widgets, right? That's why if I done any filter here, that should not be applied to this page, right? This should be new. So I am discussing about the pagination. So pagination, what exactly means? Suppose if you have, see, like, we usually done transactions more only our UPI or our credit card or debit cards, right? And when we have digital money, so we can have a lot of transactions for, like, suppose if I go outside today for some enjoyment. Okay, so maybe I'll purchase any movie ticket, I'll purchase some popcorn, I'll purchase um, for any, suppose, metro ride, or I'll book a cab, or I'll do any other expenses, right? So maybe I can have a 10 transactions, 20 transactions per day. Or if I get a total, like, around, suppose I'm supposing the things, like, suppose imagining we have 100 transactions or 1000 transactions per month, right? So loading the transaction altogether can cause the performance issues, because if we just fetch the data, all the data for a in a one query, it can lead to like, performance issues. App cannot even handle it, right? If you have lot of transactions, lot of items, suppose 1000, 2000, or 10,000 or much more. So usually when we trigger any API, we also have a pagination at that side. But in phone, but as of now we are fetching the data from our DB file, but still we are handling some pagination, because see, user don't want to have a lot of transactions, right? Suppose if we are fetching, if we just the query we have just written here, suppose if we just triggering that query, it can lead to like, suppose if I have 2000 transactions in the database, and just it, and phone is quite slow, if the phone is not proper working or RAM is low, so maybe the loader keeps loading, and it goes to endless loading, or maybe some 3 to 4 minutes it takes to load the data. I'm just assuming the things, okay? So we need pagination for that. We should show only that data that is required. Suppose we'll have a, like, we'll show 20 items, then that, after that when user scrolls, then we load next more 20 items, next more 20 items when user scrolls. So that is, we are fetching data slowly, so that leads, so that app can handle it, okay? And we are using list view, so that is also help us to fetch the data only which is required as of now, okay? So um, I didn't handle it here. Wait, I'll just add here a from dashboard to, and I'll just, we have a filter of, okay, okay, I didn't handle it as of now, right? So I'll handle it, no issues, I'll handle it. Okay, so um, so I'm explaining you about the pagination. So suppose if I'll just, what we have to do, firstly we'll create one model for our pagination. Okay, let me just, yeah, so here I'll create one new model here, new folder, page meta, and here I'll create a new file, page meta dot dart, and I'll create here one breeze class, page meta. Okay, now we have either three, like all are not nullable. Okay, all should have some default values. So firstly I have one default value of 0, which is I called on offset. We have some default value for suppose 20 for our limit. Okay, like 20 items will be loaded on one offset or one pagination one time, like when user scrolls, when the first will trigger any query, only 20 data should be loaded. And we have some parameter true, which is has bool has next. Now we will run our builder here. Yeah, so our model is ready with us. Now we'll define in our state variables. I'll define here once at the rate default page meta. We'll create an empty constructor here. Quick fix import library, an empty constructor, page meta. What's the issue behind it? There is nothing like, uh yes, no, wait, let me just try. Should show, right? Wait. Okay, so what we will do here, we'll just add a required parameter here. We will have a copy and paste, copy, paste, page meta, and page meta. Okay, so yeah, as of now I'm doing this one. Okay, in the like we can, if when we are checking the responsiveness of on different screens, we can modify our limit based on that. Okay, so I have defined here. Now next is our um, category state. Here I have to define here. We'll use page meta only when we are fetching the for the list, like this is the list we are as of now seeing on the screen. For graphs we are not using any page meta. Okay, required page meta, page meta, page meta, page meta. Okay, now I'll just run my builder. Okay, so we are done with our builder here. Can just close it. Now in provider will handle it. Okay, let me just pass the arguments here. Page meta. We can pass it. Okay, we can make it nullable as of now because for graphical representations we are not handling any page meta here. Okay, so page meta, page meta. Okay, now we have to just pass arguments here, limit and offset. Page meta dot limit, same for our page meta dot offset. Okay, so now we can pass it here, page meta from dashboard if all, if null, else state dot page meta. Okay, and we'll handle here our page meta state dot page meta dot copy with. Okay, now we'll add a limit. Limit we have defined 10, right? So we'll firstly check has next. If r dot length is equal to state dot page meta dot limit. Okay, and for offset we'll have a state dot page meta dot set plus 1, and also we will add a here bool bool load more false. Okay, copy load more if we'll create a loading more. Copy loading more. Okay, uh, also we will if load more, if not load more, then we will make our page meta to default state. Okay, 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 we have to make sure our transactions should be empty. We will make our transaction, no, not this one. We will make calendar transactions also, make it empty list. Okay, basic corrections. One thing or more, please use the this import the path package, this package. Okay, path package, and use this function join function rather than that hard coded string we are currently implementing, right? Concatenation of strings. Use this method because I am facing repeatedly that database exception issues. So I'm not sure whether it is happening because in my professional projects it didn't happen. So maybe it because of simulator, but still I will prefer you to use join method because on the internet also I have seen many cases like they recommendation is use join path rather than hard coded concatenation in the things. Okay, so use this method. Other than this, we have to do some basic corrections here. Firstly, when you are just resetting the widgets, make sure that you make the everything like you have settled the transaction should be empty, calendar month should be empty. Okay. Secondly, also make sure like we are using this for our line chart also, right? So make sure you are handle it like if from the dashboard, then use this one else null, from dashboard then use this else null. If you are using from dashboard, then amount should be null, otherwise this. If dashboard, then null, else this. If dashboard, then null. The the filters we are applying here, like for this and this, in only these two filters are there for our line chart, right? So only use this rather than not use others. And for transaction page, we don't need other parameters, right? Now next thing is that the main issue we are facing here is that like when we are using here state dot current tab index, right? Like we are using state dot current tab here, but exactly what is happening is here when we just updating our index, but here before building we are just handling it, right? So state is not updated yet, right? So we have to use this val instead of state dot current tab, because when this function ends, then it will rebuild this and state will be updated and new state will we will get. So that's why. Okay, so use this one rather than state dot current tab in this function. Okay, so now it will work fine. See here, this is the dashboard. Here you can see here the all the things. Now here I'll see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. Okay, so only 20 transactions we are able to see, right? Now we have to filter it like so we can see more transaction, right? I am also making it 10, so we can just easily we can handle here. Yeah, so now I'll tell you, we have to use here lazy load scroll view. Okay, why we are using this package? Because this package is able you to scroll and handle the pagination based on that. In mostly projects I have used this one. Okay, so now we will add here flutter pub add. We have to run builder again, I guess. Okay, yeah, so now we can use our lazy load scroll view. Also make sure while using the lazy load scroll view, like so your child widget will be, if your parent widget is lazy load scroll view, then your child widget should be a list view. That means that widget should be scrollable. Okay, so see how it works here. I'll tell you. If I just extend it and I'll just make its children this, and I'll just put it this lazy load scroll view. Okay, now this is our child here. Okay, and here we have an on end of page, there we have to handle it. Okay, now we will just transaction provide dot uh okay, okay, wait, let me just create one notifier here. Dot notifier, we have provider here, provider dot get transactions, and we have a load more of true. Okay, also I would suggest to know, also we have a parameter, right, where we have adjust our has next, right? So if it is there, then should trigger, otherwise do not trigger it. Okay, because it's a redundant if you just repeatedly triggering it if it not needed. That's why. Okay, now we can just add a handle here. If state dot e transaction state is equal to e transaction state dot loading more, then we will add some padding here. Okay, edge dot symmetric, we have vertical of 24. Okay, child we have center, child circular progress indicator. Okay, and we can do one thing more, we can also have a one refresh indicator also. Okay, uh, so user can refresh its list on refresh. I guess it's an okay asynchronous function, and we have a transaction sorry, provider dot get transactions. So let me just try to run it. Actually, we have to do one thing here. If you what exactly need to be done here, we have to also maintain our all transactions, right? So if we have load more, then we have a list, then else state dot transactions and r. Okay, three things we have to fix here. Firstly, like we are not restricting user for any like action user performing, right? If user is loading more, if user is reload the page, right? If anything user is doing, we are not restricting him. So before we are triggering any function, we have to make sure that state should be initial, right? If otherwise if many apis can call, right, user can repeatedly by chance or mistakenly also, if user just scrolling, then it can lead to issue, right? If you by chance user just scroll above, so functions can trigger many times. So we have to restrict user so that when our state is initial, then it should not load, then it should not trigger our function. Secondly, what we have to do, I have added some if else conditions here. Like if all things are not null, then we'll add here, like also I have added a descending date, because we should show the data based on the last date, because when we perform any entry, it should add the data to end of the table. Okay, so it works like queue format, right? So we have to make sure that data should be load from backward to forward, like last item should starting will be shown here and reach to first item. So we have ordered everything here, ordered by date descending. Okay, we have also added distinct means it will load the data based on different, like id should be unique, as id is our primary key, right? So distinct means that every item should have a unique id. Okay, and now we have added here condition, like all things if not null, then we'll add here like limit arguments where, and we have offset limit, and if the page meta is not equal to null, then we will just add the page meta here, like limit and offset. And if where and where argument is not null, then we'll add only the where and where arguments, else we'll just fetch all the data. This scenario will never come, okay, but we are putting so we can handle it accordingly. After that, we have to do last thing here. See, I just forgot here, like I am adding +1 +2 here because I am actually recalling it to the our API. Actually my previous project, I am sending offset based on 0 1 2 3 to the API. So same thing I remembered yet. So what exactly we have to do, we have to send the offset plus total limit. Okay, because what it will do, if we send 10 limit, then the data will be between 0 to 10, 0 to 0 to 10, the data will be 0 to 1, 0 to 9 index data will be there in our list. Okay, so that's why we have to plus the number, we have to add we have to modify offset current offset plus the number of items we are loading here. That will fix our issue. Now here when you see, we are starting with our current date, okay, like last items, of course, last items, the like the items standing from backward. So from the last items we are showing the data, this. If I scroll, then it will loading more data. It's a simulator, that's why it's running slow. If you just run in your real device, maybe it will work fine. Okay, so now you can see all 30 items are loaded, so that's why it is not loading anymore. And if I just refresh it, just refresh the data. Okay, so if you find any issues, let me know. Maybe there is a issue with refresh indicator, I don't know, but yeah, it will work fine. Okay, so try or test on real device, and if you still find any issue, let me know in the comment box. Okay, same thing we'll do for our budget list also. You can do it on your own, and if you still find any issues, let me know in the comment box. I'll help you. Okay, so we'll meet in the next video with our search category page. Okay, bye bye.